Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Masyitha Syahril. You can call me Sita or Masita. I'm from English Literature B. And now I want to read my short story. My creation story. Before the war had a true front, there were two goods. These goods were Tepiu, the maker, and Guchumats, the fat-haired spirit. Will the war around them was dirt. The two goods glittered with brilliant blue and green feathers. They come together to create the war. Whatever they talk come into being. When they talk, earth, land formed in the darkness. The talk of mountains and valleys, pine trees and sky. All of these things evaporate the instant they talk them, and thus the air was formed. Tepu and Guchumats decided that they needed beings there to look after their first creation, and to prize their names as the creators. So they created deer and bears, and partners and serpents, all the creators that roam the earth today. No pray us, say our names, command the creators. But the animals call only roar or howl, blade, bark, twitter, or moan. They tirade as hard as they call to speak, but they call not. They chirped and mewed at the top of their lungs until the noise was so deafening that Tepu and Guchumats ordered them to stop. Disappointed, the makers agreed that they would have to create better beings, ones who would be able to worship them properly. The first race of men were made from wet clay. The creators gave them life, and the first men tired to speak, but instead they crumbled apart soon. After they were made, the maker and the feather spirit were determined to create a healthier race of men. The second race of men were carved from wood. These were much stronger and were able to walk and talk and multiply. But these men had no minds, and their hearts were empty. They had no memories of their creation, and when they spoke, their words were just as empty and meaningless. They could not praise their goods. Tepu and Guchumats sent a great flock down to destroy them. They commanded the animals to eat the survivors and dare them to pieces. The few who managed to escape fled to the woods and became mankind. The creators left them thus as an example to the next race of men. The maker and the feather spirit talked for a long time about how they saw make the hearts of men devoted. There seemed to be no perfect material to build them. Finally, some animals brought the goods a stack of white corn, which grew on the far side of the earth. Tepu and Guchumats grown this into a paste and form this format for individual men. The new beings seemed perfect. They were sturdily knocked, and their minds were rich with thoughts and feelings. Their first act after their creation was to immediately worship Tepu and Guchumats, and thank them for their lives. Debut engagement with a place. What do you see? They asked the carman. We can see forever, chalk walks, and trees and mountains to the ends of the earth. We can see your entire creation with all of its animals and plants. We can see and understand everything. Debut engagements looked at each other. Perhaps we made this being to will. They shall not see as well as we do. The mix removed some of the men's vision. After that, they could only see things close to them, and they were no longer able to see through or above things that they saw not. Thus their understanding of the world was weakened. But the men still sang their gracious praise and settled down to live on the new land. Debut engagements made for women to be their mates. These eight men and women were the anchor stars of all which men and women today. Even today, their shake and understand of the world is not perfect. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.